We'll be joined momentarily by our other conference co-chair, Dr. Michelle Riba. We promised you some brief remarks, but useful remarks, because what we're going to try and do is mention some of the highlights, the key takeaways from the conference as a whole. I also want to remind you that we will be collecting evaluations. I think we'll be probably putting a link in the chat, but the main thing is you'll be getting an email shortly to connect you to the recordings and slides from the presentations. And in that email will also be a link to the evaluation form. So with that, I'm going to, I see that I believe Dr. Riba is joining right now.
Hi.
All right, welcome Dr. Riba, and welcome Danielle. So we made it. All right. Dr. Riba, you've been attending this entire conference. You were facilitating some of the groups. I'm going to let you start off with some of your impressions and lessons learned from today's event.
Well, first of all, I was sorry that I was chairing 2 of the sessions, so I'm so glad that we taped all of the sessions, so we'll be able to, like all the participants, get to see everything that was presented today. So that's great, because I think the sessions were just wonderful. We've been together for the last 4 years. This is the 4th conference, and you can see how this has progressed. We've all gotten through COVID, and now we're seeing, I think, a lot of the positives that we've learned from the isolation and the work changes that we've had to all endure. And we're coming out of this with, I think, a newer appreciation of what it means to, the importance of the work, no longer probably the workplace. We might have to change this next year, but all of us working together for common missions and having a common vision and for meaning in our lives. And I think, the sessions today, the plenaries and the smaller groups show that we're all, I think, working on the same page. We're all thinking about being intentional, not just doing things willy-nilly, but what is the impact, I think, as folks said, about programs and processes and our policies. It was great to hear the personal stories that many people used today, and I think we've learned that not only having stars and athletes and famous people, but the leaders and employees talk about their lives and the challenges and what's important to them. And so that came through in this conference today. Respect for one another, and how can we show respect and caring, and that goes to psychological safety, how to make our work sites safe for us to be able to talk with one another, communicate, and collaborate in a more effective manner. And then I think what a really wonderful term that Sierra mentioned and talked about at LIRA was DEIB. Not only is it diversity, equity, inclusion, but belonging. And I think that's what this conference today was all about, adding that B term. And it felt really good to be together, to belong to this conversation today. So those are some of the things that I came away with. How about you, Sagar?
Well, first of all, I want to echo your comments that, there were 2 concurrent sessions And so each of us got to watch two, but miss two. But like all of us, we will be getting an email with a link to the recordings, and there'll be an opportunity to catch up on the sessions that you didn't attend. Overall, I like to think of things in threes, so I sort of organize my thoughts about this in three broad categories. First of all, the sense of community, that community matters and connection matters. That was, of course, the theme of our plenary talk, but I found that theme popping up again in session after session. So we need to recognize the centrality of collaboration, of actively working to build a community. That came across very strongly. That's number one. The second thing is that all of the activities that we talked about today really could be captured by another phrase, and that is humanize the workplace. Humanize the workplace. By paying more attention to what might historically have been thought as like soft issues, and caring about people, as opposed to making sure that the right number of widgets have been made with the least number of errors and the least number of injuries. Thinking about enhancing the worker's experience, and how to do that in a way that is really fundamentally respecting key human values. That's not just like wellness preaching. That's not just for discussions with your therapists. That is a central part of good business. And what I got from this Humanize the Workplace initiative is that it makes great sense for humans, but actually it improves productivity and profitability for employers. So it's really a win-win when we humanize the workplace. The third point that I got was that this is a more of a business-oriented conference. It's not a purely academic, like theoretical physics conference where we just talk about some ideas, important ideas, but talk about them and enjoy them for their own merit. I heard lots of calls to action and lots of practical tools and practical strategies. And again, I plan to look at some of the slides again to really remind myself of them. But if I could again give three key messages that I remember right now. Number one, for leaders, you really have to work at establishing trust with your employees. It's not just about the vision for the company or some great insight about where the business is headed or something like that. It's really establish trust with your employees, because most of your employees don't trust you. Only 30% in one of the sessions we saw, only 30% of employees reported that they had great trust in their leadership. So that's one imperative for leaders to follow. The second is that managers have tremendous ability to facilitate the growth and well-being of their staff, but they need the tools. And those tools are often training in how to recognize someone in distress, training in what to say to them, communication skills, and particularly training and encouragement to emphasize the positive and not just point out the negative. So give managers the tools to help employees. I thought that was a key imperative. And the final thing, which was a softer point, but it was mentioned in several sessions, is that there are resources out there that many companies do provide, and there are resources out there in the community. And the point that was lightly made is that when we're in distress, do we use all the resources that are available to us? And some of these resources are preventative or wellness strategies. Do we sign up for yoga? Do we sign up for mindfulness? Do we join a community organization? Do we join a book club and just have the pleasure of camaraderie and enjoying discussions? with people as a kind of prophylactic measure for our mental health, as well as do we sign up for therapy or, more formal healthcare initiatives. We know that many people don't use those resources, and employee assistance programs, some digital tools that some companies have. There are apps that help with anxiety or sadness or physical fitness that are provided free by many companies. Do we use the resources that are available to us? Well, it's imperative on the individual to do so. So there's something for the leaders. They should invest in trying to build trust. There's something for managers. They need the tools and the training to be able to help employees. And there's something for individuals, which is use all the tools that are open to you, available to you, to optimize your well-being. And really, in closing, and my closing thought is, kind of like paraphrasing, and this is for everyone, leaders, employees, and all of us, to paraphrase John F. Kennedy, it's not, ask not what your company can do for you, but ask what you can do for your company. I think that's a phrase that should resonate for leaders, managers, and employees.
Well said, Sagar. I agree with what you said wholeheartedly, and I think we're moving into a different phase now. I think most of us recognize the need to build in mental health resources and intertwining DEI with good mental health resources. This is a time that we're going to build in programs to prevent people from getting harmed psychologically or otherwise. It's just like wearing safety goggles. You have to provide a safe space for people to be able to work, to take off time when they need it, and to be able to be doing their best and finding meaning at work. And and if you think about it in that prevention safety model, then fewer people are going to be ill, be sick, and really need, the kind of mental health services that, you and I often have to provide if things don't go well. So I think, this is a wonderful time, I think, to be a leader, to be an employer, to be an employee, because we all recognize the need to make our workplaces very strong and efficient, and a place that we look forward to, being successful at. So,
we want to show you that we practice the policies that we preach. So we are going to finish early. We said that we would finish Zoom meetings well in advance, and we will be finishing in about a minute. We want to know how we're doing. That's an important part that we heard today. Like, you got to be able to evaluate how your initiatives within companies do, and we need to be able to evaluate whether this conference was useful to you, how it was useful to you. We have a link to our evaluation survey. It's short, 5 minutes, and it's within, you can get it done before 5 p.m. So give it a shot. And if you don't have a chance to do it now, you'll get it in an email. We really appreciate if you could take the time to fill it out. There are a number of people who have done an extraordinary amount of work for this conference. Most of all, Danielle Tobman, who is the conference co-chair. She's hiding, I think, right now, but maybe we'll say hi to you, Danielle. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
she was hiding, yes.
All right. And, I think we've had a tremendous, technical support in the background from Stephanie Salazar and Sarah Acree. Thank you. And I hope you're less anxious now that the conference is coming to a close. We've had wonderful technical assistance here with Thomas Cook and the Nexus team here. And really, but most of all, thank you to all the speakers, and thank you to the audience for really giving us lots of questions and participating in this event. Michelle?
Yeah, I want to thank the participants. The questions were fabulous, and you know, the speakers were terrific and talented and giving wonderful answers. So thank you, everybody, and suggest topics for next year. We'd love to have you participate in next year's conference. So thank you so much.
Bye now.
Stay healthy.